This movie is probably the most epic and crazy showcase of Thor's superpowers that we've seen yet. Can you just talk to me about working with Alan Taylor and figuring that all out?
Yeah, it was one of my first sort of concerns or things at the beginning of the film. I said, look, I don't want him to feel like he's just a Viking on, and he's doing hand-to-hand combat. I said, he's a god. We should see him off the ground more, and we should see the power of that weapon and his abilities. And so that was something we really concentrated on, was upping the action and the stunts and his skill set, really sort of showcasing what he is capable of.
So you're now, can we consider you a hammer fighting expert now?
To some degree, yeah. I had a lot of help from the special effects department making me look, better. But you kind of, I had to hold that thing a lot, so I became pretty apt with, flicking it around and switching hands and ambidextrous with the hammer.
Nice. I know that when I was talking to Alan, and as you guys were filming, the script was kind of taking shape. Can you talk about just finding a through line for you, for your character, to kind of pull you through that?
Yeah, for me it was about, what does he want out of this story, Thor? What is he trying to achieve? And what is, and as to sort of base set of questions, and if there wasn't one, we said, okay, well, we're going to fix that or find one. And it became about the sort of, him understanding the responsibility and the burden of his position now as potentially being king, but also the sacrifices that come with that. And, he wanted to, save Asgard, save Jane, protect the universe. He didn't want to have to choose one or the other. And that was a pretty solid thing that kept him driving through the film.
Where we kind of leave off, you still, coming back to those base questions, you still have now big potential obligations in two directions.
Yeah.
Can you talk about where you might want to kind of take the meat of that for if there is another chapter to this?
Yeah. I think what's good about this is that, each time with the Avengers, it sort of made it difficult to separate them then. Like each time there's some kind of conflict, well, where's the rest of the team? And I like the fact that Thor has another universe, or the universe to sort of take care of and to keep him occupied. And I think in the comic books, the sort of end of days Armageddon aspect that culminates in that is probably a direction it will all head in, maybe, where it's sort of the end of all things potentially. There's obviously no script or anything, but when I read the comic books, it seems like a sort of, interesting way to go.
Do you want to see fire demons?
Why not? Yeah. It's bring them all in. Yeah.
Just kind of changing gears for a second and thinking about, because you said he has a whole universe. Have you read the script for Avengers 2? And if so, okay, I can still round this question around.
Yeah.
How do you see your character kind of comparing to something like Ultron, which is so kind of Earth and is a robot?
Yeah.
And
I don't know much about Ultron, to be honest. I'm sort of excited to see how, this unlikely group of beings, form a team and how they continue on now from Avengers. It's sort of like they got together there and then went on their separate ways and now they're back again. And hugely excited about seeing what Joss is going to do with it. And I've no doubt it'll be as epic, if not more, than the first one.
He's kind of up against the same kind of Batman-Superman challenge, right? Like, why doesn't this guy just take a hammer to this tin can and then it's over?
Yeah. Sure. And that's the smart thing about what he's constantly able to do. I don't know that it's as simple as kind of one guy versus this guy. There's always larger elements and bigger themes. And also the sort of, how that team operates, I find is just as fascinating as who the villain is, and how they, what exists within the conflict of that group.
Technically, they're not a team, they're a time bomb.
There you go.
All right, have a good rest of the day, man.
Thanks, mate. You too. Thanks, mate.